welcome to Marilyn Horse.
Good morning,
Um,
good morning.
well, it is, and you're flying off tomorrow, aren't you?
I am flying to the sun. Yes, I am. Well, I
Well,
hope it's
it's
sunny.
so do I, because the Canary Islands, equally out in the Atlantic, have had a torrid time this winter.
Well, my daughter rang me yesterday and said they were having being a bit depressing the last 2 weeks, but she said it will sort of come right. It always does. It sort of passes over the island and then, but they've had quite nice weather. I don't think they've had it too bad, but they have this stuff called because the houses they wash, they drink everything from the natural water that comes out of the sky, right? So they capture it. So the building, your house, underneath your house, whatever shape it is, underneath your house is a huge tank the size of your house. And of course, if you've got a bungalowy type house, you've got
Hmm.
more roof.
Yes.
And they have these scalloped white, like curved things like that on the roof, so that the rain comes and is captured and it goes down into the tanks. So
Yeah.
they call it, when they get heavy rain, they call it tank rain.
Do you have to treat the water, or is it just?
No,
Oh,
no. They so I
well, hang on. Anything could happen. I mean, a seagull could be on the top of the roof depositing things, and you're
I
drinking it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, my daughter doesn't trust it. She has these big water things that you get, you know what I mean?
Yes, filters.
And her mother-in-law goes bonkers because she says, for goodness sake, I've lived here 60 years. I've never bothered, waste of money. But when you know there are cockroaches in the tank, it's not exactly God.
Yes.
I don't mind showering in it, but I do draw the line at drinking it, I have to say. But people have lived a donkey's years on this island. This is her mother-in-law. It's so funny. She's very British. She's been there 60 years, but she's very down to earth, his mother-in-law.
Stiff upper lip. Yes, I know. Listen, we've got to mention and rejoice. Chargos. I mean,
Yes,
if ever there was a non-deal, that was it. And it was put through by Sir Keir Potty Prime Minister, and the Donald has had his way.
yes, he has. And it was put together, was it not, by Starmer and Lord Hermer, wasn't it?
Yes, say no
I
more.
do wonder. I saw Patrick Christie's comment on GB News this morning, and he rightly said, "I'd love to know the background to this and what corruption and backhanders were going on, and if they're still going to get backhanders and all of that." And I put on Twitter, I said, "Well, just keep digging, Patrick, because you'll find it out."
Yes, I mean, the favourite one, of course, is that our friends Mauritius, read China for the word Mauritius, have cancelled, and this is fact, practically every income tax on Mauritius. They were going to make that much money out of it. So don't pay taxes anymore, fellows, they said. This was months ago because the deal's been done. That's going to be undone, of course, now. Well done, Trump.
Ooh, another turnaround.
We're up to 20 now, aren't we? I mean, we have let's be honest, Marilyn, we have never, ever in our whole history
Never. I agree.
had a prime minister like this clown.
Absolutely awful. I put out on Twitter this morning because the astronauts having, I mean, what an achievement, having sort of splashed down. And I didn't watch it, but a friend of mine did stay up and watch it, and he said to me, "Oh, they haven't come out yet. They're taking time." And I said, "They're probably waiting for Starmer to rock up and say,
Well, yes.
the
And
part
I organised this. Do you
yes,
realise?
exactly. The part we played in this, blah."
We've got a backstory about that, which will, before we go, enlighten our audience with. Let's move on, of course, to Shropshire, which is the second county to do exactly the same thing. They don't want Union Jacks hanging from their lampposts. They don't want St George's flags because it's a hazard. To who is it a hazard?
Well, because I again, I I put out on X. No, why don't you tell the truth? The truth is you don't want to upset the Muslims. Just speak the truth. We all know it's absolutely nonsense. We've had flags, all the royal things and parades and all stuff like that, street parties, you name it. We've done it for years and we've hung things off lampposts for years. They hang what do you call it, hanging baskets off them, don't they? I mean, we don't take those down. It's patently obvious the danger would be that the Muslims might kick off. And it's just dreadful. It's awful. I would still, I put up even more as quickly as they were coming down. I put up twice the number if it was me.
Yes, and that has been done in occasional places, actually. They've got into trouble, but they don't care.
Yeah.
I'll not tell you who I would like to hang from lampposts. And we will quickly move on to Lord Dunnet. There is light after all. And he's come out with a wonderful phrase, hasn't he?
Lord Dannet.
Yes, Lord Dunnet.
He was brilliant on GB News today. He is, I mean, I like Lord Dannet. I know him through, well, I know his son because my son-in-law went to Harrow with Lord Dannet's son, and he's a very down-to-earth, very articulate, measured man. And he was talking about how we're now getting on a war footing. The cabinet have got together last night, and it's with immediate effect that the war footing for it's going to be highlighted with schools, hospitals, police, you name it. And he said, when you go on a war footing, he said the secret is to speak softly but have a big stick. The reality is in England, we are shouting out and being loud, and we have a very small stick.
But
And
even when we shout out being loud, we get it wrong.
exactly right. And he said, the thing is, you do not want to sort of ramp it up and, you know, really throw a heavy threat at Putin because we haven't got the capability. It's been underfunded for years. And he said, you can't, and they were saying about, oh, could we do something? He said, if I said now, bring in a new budget now, sort it out, put a good defense budget together, it's too late. The time has passed. Well, it wasn't a speech, it was an interview. It was very, very good. And when he said, it was Tom Howard and Dawn Neeson that were talking to him. And he said, he said, he's very diplomatic in a way. They said, so would you say that Starmer's been a very weak prime minister? He said, well, I'll just put it differently. And that's when he said about the stick.
Well, yes, we're very diplomatic, aren't we? No, we're not.
No, we're not. No.
And when we say diplomacy, what sort of diplomacy allows a Russian tanker? And we found out 4 more Russian tankers have gone down our waterway, the
Unbelievable.
English Channel. And when we have a Royal Naval vessel following it, now let me tell you about the Royal Naval vessel. It's a supply ship and it has been manned by a civil crew, nothing to do with the Navy. They couldn't do anything anyway. Now, that's the paucity of the Royal Navy. That is appalling.
I mean, it really is the rudderless navy, isn't it? Navy, really, the rudderless navy. That's what I call it. I mean, I actually feel sorry for people that have signed up for the military, and I don't understand. Yes, again, we have another turnaround. Oh, what was it? A week ago or more? They can board these ships, yeah, and now they can't. Why not? What's caused that turnaround? You're in
Well,
our waters. Why can't we board those ships?
we can. I mean, Mr. Hitler, we need to conform with international law before we bomb that stretch of water or that city. It doesn't happen. We're at war. Let's grow up about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How can you not be at war when our drones have been shooting things down or what have you? How can you not be at war? It's absolutely ridiculous to keep banging that drum.
Our Prime Minister, I'm sorry, he's not exactly Genghis Khan, is he? Oh,
Oh,
well, we go. Can you see Genghis turning to his mother-in-law and saying, "Oh, I'll check this out in case it breaks any law on the Seychelles," because that is what Starmer is doing. He's got
it's
one voice, one brain. Some would even doubt that. And I'm sorry, he's not a leader.
Oh, he's not a leader. I mean, it would be, there's going to be quite a few uprisings apparently as well over this weekend. I think they're becoming upstanders. I think there's about 10 different cities around England that are going to be targeted with people have had enough, basically.
Yes.
Um, and I do think it could well be on the brink of some civil war because people, what else can you do to try and change the status quo? What else is there? Really, what
Well,
else? I mean,
let,
he's not listening. He's not listening. It's going to be very interesting.
and we've said this before, end of May, that will give us a bit of a barometer. But, the election is the election. But who are we going to get when Starmer is sidelined? Will it be any better? And I'm sorry
No.
to say no.
They won't be any better. They're all tarred with the same brush. They're all as bad as each other, all of them. You look at that front bench, there's not, it couldn't even get it right. They couldn't organize a kids' picnic. Really, they couldn't. I mean, it's worrying. I don't understand how the general public didn't see that, couldn't look at the lineup and vote. Why did they vote so heavily for him? I don't get it. I mean,
Well, the
he's.
Tories certainly got what they deserved, but
Oh, they did.
the
Oh, yes.
nation didn't get what it
Yeah.
deserved. But
No,
it has a chance to put it right. And if
yeah.
it doesn't put it right this time, then I'm sorry, everybody, it's your fault. You
Mm,
put them there, get on with it, or get
absolutely.
out. But a lot of
Yeah.
people are getting out.
Yeah. I mean, it is really worrying. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what Rupert Lowe's going to be doing. Because he's got Restore Britain, hasn't he?
Hmm.
And I don't know whether he's not going to go and join in with anybody, but I don't know who's going to vote because you have to have a team, don't you, really? It's going to be very interesting. I won't be here to worry about it, thank goodness.
Well, no,
And
no.
we haven't got it going on in our area anyway. We haven't got one of these elections, so we're not up for that. But it'd be very interesting to see. And I do think if you're into politics, it's a very interesting time, I think.
Oh, never been as interesting.
And it's changing all the time. If you are a politics student at university, must be fascinating, and for the lecturers, quite honestly, I think it must be, yeah, really, really interesting. But I was talking to someone the other day, and I said, if I was young, and single and no kids, obviously, just a free agent sort of thing, and I was young now, and I wouldn't stay here. I would not stay here. I said, I don't know where I'd go, but if I was young, if I was in my 20s and think, where shall I go? I wouldn't stay. And that's awful, really, because you need people who believe in their country to stay, to, have a voice and fight back, if you like, in a way. But this guy said to me, I tell you where I'd go. I said, wait, I'd go to Poland. He said, and I went, oh, I've forgotten about that. He said they are doing so well.
It's very on its way up. There are a number of reasons. We'll do that topic on another occasion. You'll realise why you've got to think twice about coming to Spain before our program's ended, because things are not well here. Now, I speak from personal experience. This very morning, my wife, who's not very mobile, got stuck in the lift. Fortunately, I managed to get her out. But having said that, there's no emergency service. Spent a fortune on the lift, spending £40 a month or near enough to get the thing serviced. There's no emergency service, so you could be there for a week. The earliest we can get somebody out, if you're lucky, is on Monday. And then I got stuck in the lift. Fortunately, we have a chica that helped me out. So there you go.
I mean, people, most people don't have a lift for the sheer fun of it, do they? It is because there is some mobility problem. So
Exactly.
that should be paramount that and I remember you getting that lift. It's not even a year old, is it?
No, it's well under a year. Fortunately, I am now able to cope with the stairs. It's a bit dangerous, but
Yeah,
I
but
can. I couldn't before, so that's to be rejoiced at. But
yeah, but you shouldn't have to. I mean, as you say, it should be for that sort of situation with that specific device, there should be
absolutely,
24-hour emergency
and
call out.
rescue service. Eventually, I phoned the manufacturers that are an English company, and I did get some nice reply. As we speak, this program may be interrupted with a telephone conversation. I don't want a nice reply. I want a lift that works. Yes.
Absolutely.
And I just mentioned Genghis Khan. We're going to talk about his cousin, Sadiq Khan, your favourite man, because he's continually, I don't know, his big mate Starmer actually, and they're both porcupine like I've never seen before. And Sadiq has said, well, crime, serious crime, is actually going down in the city.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
well, if you pick the right dates when the serious crime started, allegedly, to the date that you want to conveniently put in there, you can do anything with figures,
Of course you
Mr.
can.
Sadiq.
They
Uh,
are, yeah,
it's false.
they're massaged and manipulated, no doubt about it. It's absolutely dreadful. I mean, there was a thing again this morning I saw that as he was saying, we really do believe in, really believe in protecting people in London and blah, blah, blah. I mean, what tosh is coming out of his mouth? It would be lovely if he actually believed what he was saying. But the reply to that was some lady who said, well, as you're saying this, 4 girls in our area were raped last night.
Exactly that. I've got a list here. Mr. Sadiq Khan, would you please have a word with the thousands of women that don't walk out anymore to see if that your capital city is good? Would you please look at the shoplifting? It's become a hobby, especially with the black youths, because they play the race card.
Yeah.
Listen to Marks and Spencers, at least they have some courage, and said, get a grip and get this sorted out. We are losing business money. The capital is losing money.
Well, also, you don't want to mess around with people like Marks and Spencer because they will have hefty lawyers.
Yes.
It'd be them and John Lewis. They are the big high street players. I mean, but Marks and Spencers is pretty much in more places than John Lewis, I think. But I don't think Marks and Spencers would hang around. And I think they're right. They should send a bill. I hope they do send a bill to him.
Well, the problem, of course, is the same old one because if the police ever catch these, I think it's 2% now they catch of shoplifters, the jail sentences, if you're stealing over £200, otherwise you can steal £200 a day and they'll shout at you and nothing else. But the jail sentences are abysmal.
Yeah, but you can put them surely on other things.
Well, causing a
Hard
public, yes,
labor,
exactly. There's lots of
building the
ways.
railways.
You're not interested, and that's the state of the nation. And going on from that, we've got to mention Scott Mills. I'm not an avid radio tour, but that's where this all comes in, of course. He's been tolerated there for donkey's years, like Jimmy Savile, like Stuart Hall,
Mm.
and many other people we can mention. They are tolerated. This liberal BBC, progressive BBC, why should it have? Yeah, I know they're big, but the numbers belie the
Oh,
truth.
I mean, look at Hugh Edwards, I mean, there was a guy yesterday as well who did work for the BBC, but he hasn't for some time. And he has already, well, he was at BBC, he was like all sexual assaults and stuff like that. And he was let out. And within, I think it was 4 or 5 weeks of being let out, he has broken his license. Well, what is it? People don't understand. They don't change.
No.
But that he hasn't done this whilst he's been employed by the BBC anymore,
No.
obviously. But nonetheless, he was up to this when he was in the BBC. So he's left the BBC, but he's still because they will not change. Hugh Edwards will not change, and there's somebody else that's got. There's been quite a few of them lately. Actually, there's somebody very high up. In one of the top schools, it hasn't said what school it was, but I think it was a head teacher that's been up was up to no good. I can't remember I don't think well, I don't know why they keep the name of the schools out. I think they should shame the
Yes.
school, really. I think they should.
Well,
But why
yes.
not?
Yes.
Because
Well,
somebody's going
look,
to find out. Somebody will find out, and they will tell the media.
yeah. And apparently, the first occasion, allegedly, of Mr. Mills's demise happened over 10 years ago, when he was entertaining the delights of a 15-year-old underaged male. And I've got a question. Does the BBC naturally attract people of his proclivities that have difficult lives, and eventually it catches up with them? Now, I've got to be diplomatic when I say that, but work it out for yourself.
Yeah. Do you think it's on the job description? Do you
I
think it's
would,
on the application form when
yeah,
you apply? Are you a deviant?
yes, unusual, but which
I
is
mean,
now,
it is bizarre how many go there and well, I suppose birds of a feather, you see, isn't it? Remember that proverb, birds of a feather stick together? Maybe one brings another in. That's very often how it used to happen in boarding schools. You know, someone who was dodgy knew someone at another school, and oh, you want a French teacher? My mate lives, my mate works at this one. And so, because they do work in circles,
hmm, and
you
go
know,
around in circles, and
yeah,
eventually it
they all
catches
know
up with
another
them.
one, you know?
Well, jury is definitely out on this one. There's going to be a lot more developments. Let's see what goes on. So
Yeah,
we move on quickly to the Labour demise of, put it this way, the Muslim Brotherhood has been banned from almost every country in the world, every civilized country, but not in Britain, because
exactly.
no doubt Lord Harmer and our friend Sir Keir are progressive a bit more, and we won't make them on the no-no list. I'm sorry, you've got to deal with these people. They're killing people worldwide.
It's
Why
terrible.
don't you state that?
I know. I just don't get it. I mean, he said something today. I saw Starmer saying something, and do you know, I almost need to have a trigger warning when, when, when his face or his voice is going to be on. 'Cause honestly, it does wind me up. I've only got to see his face and it starts. I'm almost having a panic attack. I cannot stand the man. Him and Khan, and him and Khan in particular, but oh my goodness me, I cannot stand it. I feel so sorry for his children. And when you think as well that was it him and Healy were on holiday when it was all they were on holiday with their children
Oh,
and
yes, you've got to
family.
have some time out, you know. Oh, well, we've got this clever phone that can keep us in touch with world events. Yeah, once a day, when world events are moving once every 5 minutes. Okay.
It's dreadful that it is, and there's so many people now who actually I don't think will be able to afford a holiday because they're not cheap, do they? Holidays do not come cheap with
No, and
families.
surely they become more expensive, of course.
You
Right,
know,
we're going to move on and have some light relief. Uh, will the nation please, whichever nation you are, this program goes around the world, please look after their kidneys.
oh,
Oh, well, they're there, you know. Don't think about kidneys. Time you did. Give you some facts. They filter your kidneys 200 litres of blood every day. That's factory, isn't it? It's unbelievable that much. Uh, now, Number one, and Madame will agree with me because she's always preaching, 2 to 3 liters of water a day.
Ah, yes, absolutely. Essential.
Right,
Clear out and flush out the toxins. Really important to
especially
drink water,
if you're living
lots
in
of
a
water.
warm country, of course, it's doubly important.
But it's important anyway to flush out your liver, flush out your kidneys, and it's extremely important. And if you are on any medication, also you need to flush that out your system. And I understand. I don't like the taste of it. What? I haven't got any taste.
Oh, I don't know. Well, depends where you live. Having been brought up in Manchester, we had delicious soft water there.
All right.
It was nice. You move to other parts and it's hard water, which can I say is a darn sight healthier than soft water
Yes.
because of the calcium, etc., in it.
Yes.
Can I mention also that kidney stones can be prevented by lots of water and squeezes of fresh lemon?
Oh, lemon's brilliant for you. Yeah. Yeah.
Hot
Yeah.
water and lemon at breakfast time.
Well, that's the Queen Mother used to have a cup of boiling water with lemon juice in it every morning. First thing, the Queen Mother. My gran did the same. My gran lived to be 86, and her skin was incredible. It
I
was
think,
incredible.
yeah, I think the Queen Mother actually laced it with gin, allegedly. But yes, partially true. Okay. I'll tell you what is bad for kidneys, and it's a bit of a fad at the moment, protein. Now, if you're a weightlifter or bodybuilder, you're encouraged, and older people are encouraged to have enough protein. A lot of them become protein deficient, and you stick yourself with one of the latest drinks, which costs blooming £6 a time, a lot of them, and it's full of protein to help you. But I tell you what, doesn't half build up kidney stones. Beware of that. If
And
you go over the top, and a lot of people do, they come out of these health shops with these great big tubs
yeah, yeah,
of
yeah,
protein.
yeah.
You've got to be very careful. And the other thing you've got to be careful about is ibuprofen. Is that how you pronounce it in English?
Ibuprofen, yeah.
Yeah. And well, ibuprofen in Spanish, it's um, actually you think, oh, it's all right, I'll put a bit on it. I'm aching here. I've got bad hands today, whatever. But it gets into the bloodstream
Yeah, of course it
and
does.
it's got to be cleaned by the body, the liver, and the
Yeah.
kidneys. So that will contribute to overuse, of course, of that will contribute to uh, kidney stones. So use things carefully and read the labels.
So my daughter had an accident on the Barrier Reef, right, when she was 19, and she was she did scuba diving, and she's one of those boats that you go out to beyond the Barrier Reef and all of that. Anyway, she slipped on the deck when it was dark, and thankfully, they had nets all around the deck. But she fell on, what are they called? You know this, you had a boat, those metal things that you put
Cleats.
rope.
Oh, yes.
The,
Cleats.
the,
They're called
yeah,
cleats
those
on
little
boats.
metal things. Well, she fell backwards onto one of them
Ooh,
and completely obliterated one of her kidneys, right? And she nearly died. We got a call at 3 in the morning and she sounded absolutely dreadful. And anyway, she was flown off by one of those medical helicopters. And we got this call to say, uh, we can't stop the bleeding. The renal consultant said, I didn't even know you could completely obliterate a kidney. There's not just it's ruptured or anything, it's gone. And we can't stop the bleeding. So I then was like at Heathrow Airport because I'd got a flight to go over and see her, and they all were, we have to operate. If we don't operate, she'll die. If we do operate, she still may. And I had to then fly from Heathrow to actually, she was up in Townsville. They'd flown her. I mean, it happened on the Barrier Reef, but they flew her because they got a very good renal department up in Townsville at the hospital up there. Anyway, I went and I was talking to this guy, and he said, "You've got two kidneys. You're actually born with a spare. If you are under 30 and you do something like your daughter's done, her one remaining kidney will double in size because she's under 30, right? But he said, in reality, you can survive on half a kidney. You don't,
Amazing,
you
amazing
don't need
organ.
yeah, you don't need two kidneys. You're born with a spare. But I thought that was really interesting. But yeah, I mean, she's lucky to be here. But she has to be careful what she eats. She has, and it also you have a problem with because it is the kidneys do amazing things. I mean, they do actually regulate your blood pressure and all sorts of stuff. The
Yes.
kidneys are very, very important, as all our organs are. So yeah, we need to look after all of them.
Yeah, a lot of people take for the liver and the kidney a product called milk thistle. It's quite an old product actually, but that might be worth mentioning to your medic. Anyway, um, generally talking about health and health gurus, you can make yourself very rich by these days online by recommending health foods,
Yeah, oh
etc.
yeah.
But can I say beware of the health gurus? A lot of them don't know what they're talking about and not qualified. Make sure they are. They may write a very good column in a newspaper, but honestly, their suggestions often are completely OTT, over the top. Don't let anything changing with diets, etc., overtake your lifestyle unless your medic approves of it and
Mm,
a good medic. And everything is about gut health. Horrible word.
absolutely. Absolutely. It's very important.
But the
Hugely,
key thing here
hugely
is
important.
inflammation. You've
Mm,
got to keep inflammation, whichever part of the body it's in, down. And you can do that by a broad stroke approach. Don't get too picky. And if you want some advice, easy. Breakfast is a most important meal. We're always told about that. And
mm,
if you're strong enough willed, will you get away from your cereals? Because generally they're over
mm,
manufactured,
mm,
over sugared,
mhm.
over everything. They're doing
Right.
you harm. Not
Mm.
they're not doing you any good. They're
Mm.
doing you harm. Whatever you take, even granola, which is
Well, it's
sold out there as a special health food.
yeah, it's no, it's not. When you see, I always look at the back of things to see what is in it and what the sugar content is, because when things say no fat, right? So you look at a yogurt and it says no fat. You look at the back of the yogurt packet and you'll say that the no fat ones have higher sugar content than the ones that have 10% of fat. It's really interesting. So I always buy the 10% Greek yogurt, 10% fat, because you look at the back of the packet and the no fat ones have got more sugar in it.
Yes. Yogurt's good. That's what we were going to mention. Uh, Try and substitute it with yogurt, a bit of dry fruit, not too much because there's lots of sugar in that.
So
Seeds, and lots of goodies. Some fresh fruit is always better. But that's an easy one, easy tip. The other thing is fermented foods are good for you. What you say? Sauerkraut?
I've never tried it. What's it like?
Well, you either like it or you don't.
It's a
If you
Marmite thing, is it?
well, yeah, if you mix it with your roast or whatever, it's okay. I quite like it, but I can understand why people don't. But anything fermented, strong cheese
Oh yeah,
is
lovely.
fermented.
Yummy.
Look at fermented foods as a help for you.
And don't forget wine.
That was she can read my mind. I get worried about you sometimes. And it says here, cut down on alcohol. Now, are
Yeah.
you listening, madam? It
No,
says 1 glass of red daily. Look at the face on that.
The thing is, I don't eat cakes, biscuits, I don't smoke, never have done. I'm always up and down, walking and running around, charging about. I don't eat chocolate. I don't eat,
Oh, come on, some dark chocolate is very good for you.
oh, I know it is, but I'm not a big fan of chocolate really, because it's too sweet. A lot of it's too sweet, and the dark one, the very dark one, can give me migraine. So
Yes, it can, that's true. And it dries your mouth out if you get over
yeah,
90%.
but so yeah, my weakness is wine. But there we go. I
I
I
couldn't
know
I couldn't comment on that. Well, I could, but I'll be in trouble. Lastly, can I say, as I've said before, don't go OTT. Diets can be good for you or change of regime, but do it sensibly. And if I could give you a proof of that, pay a visit to your local health shop.
but I
And
don't
look
think there's
who's in there, especially the assistants. They're
yes.
all emaciated, white, and they all look poorly. So
But it's,
something's going on here.
I think it's also good to find out what is the secret weapon that makes you lose weight. You see, for me, I could, and I did when I was pregnant with my son, and I ended up, all those years ago, I weighed less at 9 months pregnant than I did when I started, and I I ate eggs every which way you could have them, all the time with a salad or whatever. But even now, if I want to think, oh, I'll just try and lose 3 or 4 pounds. I would just eat fish with broccoli or fish with spinach, and that's it. I take the carbs out. If I take the carbs out of my diet, my weakness is potato. I love potatoes any which way you do it. I could go without bread, but potatoes, the smell of chips.
Chips and
Yummy.
wine. This is easy. This is lady is easy to please. Uh, not doing her much good.
Yeah, I'm not high maintenance. Just give me a glass of wine with a bottle next to it or
With a
intravenous
bag of
drip, and I'm
chips.
your girl.
No. Yes, we'll have some yeah, problems over that one. I'm going to move quickly on to Spain and make myself popular here again. Beware of the Spanish trap, which is the traffic laws in Spain. And you come across these, of course, when you hire your car at the airport. So don't think you're living in Britain and it's great. They'll guess you here. And I'll give you some facts and figures. There are 6 million offences in Spain every year, which is twice as much as an overcrowded, horrible place to drive like the United Kingdom. So you put that into context where we can drive from one of our places up to our northern studios. It's 1,000 kilometers. We do it in a day. There's not one set of traffic lights from one studio to the other. That is heaven, folks,
Yeah.
compared with what you got in the United Kingdom. But the police officers regard any infringement of any law. It's a tax raising. That's all they do it for. And the fines are phenomenal over here, a lot bigger than Britain. And let me tell you, the chief citations in Spain in order, how they catch you out. And they catch you out on roundabouts.
Oh, yes.
Probably noticed this. They've got
Same in
massive,
Portugal. They did that on round. Used to
they
dread it.
do.
One day a month they'd come out every roundabout. Yeah,
And
yeah.
at Christmas, they're there in hordes because they want to raise money for their Christmas celebrations.
Yeah,
No, I am not joking. It's true.
it is true.
That's how they raise local money. And the chief citations that you've got to, number one, use of mobile phones.
Mm.
Now, you think it's bad in Britain, not like Spain.
Well, we've got a law now. We can't use them in the car.
Well, first of all, when you're walking along the pavement with your mobile phone,
Yes, yeah.
you see, if you're looking, even a pedestrian crossing. And in Spain, you've got absolute rights over any motorist. If you step out and the car hits you, it's the car's fault.
Mm.
There's no give and take like there is in the English law. Look right, look left, etc. But beware. No, it's their right, therefore they don't take their eyes off their mobile phone. 6,000 are killed every year. In Britain, it's less than half that. And
Wow.
they won't alter the law. So mobile phones is an infection, and no wonder it's number one. Number two, reading newspapers. I couldn't believe that. Yeah, they read
You're
newspapers
driving.
whilst driving. And there you go.
God.
You're going to get done for that. Eating. Now, this is your big Spanish hobby. They love to drink wine in moderation. They love to eat like immoderately. And they're always eating. They've got an apple in their hand or whatever. That is an offence, and the police will have it for you.
You're not allowed in England to do that anymore either.
No,
Drinking or eating if you're, and I think that's right. If you're driving the car, I think that's right.
yeah, until you tell them to stop smoking. Oh, well, we'll overlook that, which is far more dangerous if you drop your
Yeah,
fag in your
yeah.
lap, of course. So eating. Next one, disciplining the children. Now, unless you live in Spain, you won't realise. A lot of the children, how can one say this diplomatically? Lord Danner, let's say, well, he would say, they're brats, they are brats. That's as diplomatic as I can get. They spoil their little ones, like, and they grow up
Yeah.
to big brats, some of
Mm.
them. So um, when they're disciplined in the car, they turn round. That's the next one. Never mind they're driving, they turn round and no, they don't hit them. They deserve to be hit, but they don't. So the next one is having an argument with a friend, as you do. That is an offence, and that goes on so many times in Spain. They're very effusive, and they use the arms and the legs and the
Very feisty. I think Spanish women are very feisty. I
Spanish
think
women are the worst drivers
not
in this world
no, they're not.
because of their feistiness.
I
Yes,
think they can lose the plot very quickly, Spanish
they
women.
can and they do. Um, the other thing you've got to sympathise with is they are in the EU because the EU comes out with diktats every 5 minutes about how you should live your life, and they know better than anybody else. No, they don't. And Spain takes this on board because they like rules coming from above.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not all sweetness and light, folks.
No, but I always say that when people go to somewhere on holiday and they go, "Oh, I'm going to move. I'd love to live here." And I always say you don't know how that country really works. You don't know what the frustrations are. And I find that out very quickly within about 2 weeks of moving to Portugal, how the bureaucracy was absolutely unbelievable and very, very different from going there as a tourist. It's very
The
different.
bureaucracy is very bad in Spain, worse than Portugal. We
Mm,
know both countries very well.
mm.
The one big difference is that you can talk to a civil servant in Portugal and get a civil answer. They are nice people.
Yeah.
In Spain, you ask a Spaniard what he thinks of the average civil servant. What are you doing here? I'm going home. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. No, they're not nice to deal with. Sorry, Spain, you can't get everything right. Sunshine's usually right, but there you go. We run out of time, but there are two things we've got to mention before we go. One is dishwashers. How good are they? And can I mention right at the start, why doesn't Net Zero, Ed, have a look at dishwashers? Because they're the most inefficient, carbon resistant machines ever invented. They cost a fortune. They use more electricity. Wash up by hand, ladies. Oh, I'm going to be in trouble again. Because honestly, over this last 2 years, we've had to have help in the house. And our girls that come in regularly, they don't use the dishwasher, most of them. And it's twice as quick and
Yeah.
twice as clean. If you're in a restaurant situation, no. in our restaurants, we have these dishwashers that have a cycle of 1 or 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere near them, but they're brilliant. They save our lives, but they
Yeah.
cost a fortune.
Yeah, no, they
But
do. I know when I worked in a hospice, they had those sort of
yeah,
dishwashers. It was great. And they do. It turns it around really quickly.
yeah.
Incredible.
The average dishwasher at home, and then blow me down when it doesn't clean it. You've got to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, yeah, that's
and
right.
what amuses me even more than that is, oh, I'll have to rinse this plate before I put it in the
Yes, I
dishwasher.
know.
What do you need a
You
dishwasher
just as
for?
well wash it up.
I know. And other people ask all the time, is it best to buy an expensive one or a cheap one? The cheap ones are no good.
Mm,
They don't wash and they rust. The expensive ones still don't give you value for money. They work a bit better, but not much.
mm.
Get the hands going, girls.
Get the marigold gloves out.
Get the miracle. Well, there you go.
There
Yes.
we are.
Think about that, but think about finally um, our brave astronauts. I say our brave astronaut, Artemis 2. Um, but there are certain things that we've got to appreciate here. Brilliant, well done. And
Incredible.
practically, it was free of all glitches, allegedly, but it wasn't. We can tell you the truth behind what really happened up there. And the toilets. Now, first of all, before we get on the toilets, NASA's gone woke like most of the rest of the world. If you notice the makeup of the crew, we had one black, one white, we had one woman. Yeah, okay, it's going on there. Yeah. We go to the toilets, which of course have got to be catered for both sexes. The toilets cost £30 million. Yes. So is that number one against woke? Well, it certainly comes into it. But let me tell you, the lady came up trumps, if I can mention the president again, and the toilet got blocked. And she was delegated by the rest of the crew to fix it. Woman's work again, you see, you come in useful, ladies. Look at the face on it again. No, I'm teasing. And she was saying, sort that toilet out, madam. Now, this lady's called Cock, Ms. Cock. You couldn't write it, could you? Well, there you go. She had to fix the loo. And apparently, when you do a number ones, it goes out into space.
Oh, lovely.
Nice. Well, it does unless it freezes in the tube on the way out, and it did.
I see.
So she was delegated, Miss Cock, to, yeah, undo the cock stop. And I don't know, she did a great job. And it sort of half worked for the rest of the mission. But there was a payback time. The toilet has a heart. Every time you press the button, it made the most horrendous noise because she'd only got rid of half the whatever it was. And they had to wear actually ear defenders every time they used the loo. So can you picture that? Perhaps you shouldn't picture it. But these are the things that we publicize as the truth behind every news story. As we keep saying, there is other news. That's other news.
I just can't imagine doing it, but I mean, if you're into that sort of thing, what an extraordinary experience, really. I mean, what an extraordinary experience. And there's only those people you were with in the world that you can talk to about that experience. And the real bonding, and a lot of them said what they missed the most. It was the banter and the stuff like that they would miss, the connection, oh God, I mean, it's sort of coming back into the atmosphere, and then my anxiety would have been off the scale. I
Yeah.
mean, I no way. I mean, I know. I mean, my daughter-in-law, she is an engineer, and she, in a previous job, made teeny little micro things. Your micro tech nanotechnology is what she did. That's
Nanotechnology. Yeah. Yeah.
little micro nano stuff that went into the heads of the NASA rockets. And she was sitting up watching it. She just, I mean, I feel like my sleep too much, but she just found the whole thing absolutely unbelievably mind-blowing. And it is mind-blowing. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, the
Incredible.
beauty of just watching this, and it gets everybody that goes up there watching this floating glass marble,
Yeah.
beautiful glass marble just hanging there in nothingness is mind blowing. I do remember interviewing Buzz Aldrin in Marbella actually
Oh,
a
right.
few years ago, and Buzz, lovely guy. He'd flown straight into the studio from California a long time, and he brought his fifth wife with him, and they sat down on the interview sofa, and he was coping all right, but his wife Lois was dozing off. Oh, this was live television, and he just kept elbowing it. But Lois, stay awake.
Nudging her.
Yes. And it was, but talking to him afterwards was a revelation. What a
Yeah, I
lovely
bet.
guy.
I
And
bet.
we kept in touch for quite a while, actually. And he's seen sights and experienced not just the G-force, but every other experience you get up there, even to walking on the lunar surface. It's the future.
Yeah.
We hope it can save the world. Well, it can't actually. We know somebody else that can probably do that a bit better.
So,
But it's great to have an adventure like this in the middle of this horrible war.
oh, absolutely. But my daughter-in-law is always, pointing out to me that what they learn by doing these expeditions, what they actually learn that with, technology and all sorts of stuff, it's so worth doing. Because I've often thought, oh, well, a waste of money, blah, blah, blah. But she says, no, it's amazing what they bring back and what they learn from
Yes,
going up there. Any of these rocket missions. She
yes,
did, it's incredible. I thought I mean, amazing thing, amazing. And the sights looking down on Earth and yeah, incredible. There'll be the photography with some of the photographs that will come out be amazing, won't they?
yes, that's true.
Yeah.
And we've got to go.
Right.
And next time we're going to speak, you'll be sunning yourself, madam. She's
I
going to
will.
appear in a bikini. She's promised me.
No. I might have a sundress on, and
Oh,
when it's cold and wet over here, you'll wonder why. But it's beautiful.
yes, we look forward to that experience. And we'll see you very shortly.
Hey, bye bye now. Have fun. Bye. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.